Hey, here we are preparing our first tree line. We're super excited to do this, and we're doing it by hand with this Broadfork that we made with my dad for 30 euros. Which, look, it's pretty nice. It's a bit bent here, but it's a really nice thing. It's like 35 centimeters deep and 45 centimeters like wide. And of course we were like, let's do it with machines. It's gonna go faster, you know, let's look for somebody with a machine. He might be able to help us out. Well, the few people we found with machines, they had bad energy, we felt. They had resistance, they were under pressure, perhaps they have debt and stuff. And just their agriculture model seems to be really putting them like this. And we could feel that, and we were like, okay, let's not bother them. And they don't even have time, you know, to help us so much. We would put them more into pressure. So we were like, let's just get this Broadfork doing.
But no, this is not how it went really, because the Broadfork came afterwards.
Alright, tell us.
Broadfork came afterwards, but at first we were really like almost fighting and breaking up over this because I wanted just like to not work so much physically, and so that's why I wanted a machine to do this, like a ripper and then maybe something to make it finer. But we have a lot of grasses, there's a lot of like couch grass and stuff, so it also didn't feel right because you just break up all the roots and it just like spreads more and then it just like starts again over. So we just risked it and listened to our intuition of like, we have wood chips like that are free, they're available. Why not like cover and try to smoother the grasses for like a couple months? We started quite late, so here was like all covered with a super thick layer that was like super compacted, maybe like, I don't know, 1.5 tons, 2 tons, I don't know even, like 1 meter 40 wide. So we put the line in the middle and also the paths, so that we wouldn't have so many grasses. And this was like 2 months ago, and you can see the result. Like anything that is left, because the couch grass, it's able to grow like through it because it has these pointy things. But it really is the easiest grass to weed. We hated it, but now it's like our favorite weed, because when we do with the Broadfork, there's so little to weed. This is what's left, and this is the easiest part, you know.
And it dropped all the soil.
Yeah.
The very grassy clumps, they hold on to the topsoil.
The worst thing is like patches of grasses with this type of roots, and especially when it's green like that, it's so much work. Like this is all it takes so much topsoil out. So we try to not lose it and just put it back on the path and walk on it and cover it. But really the couch grass is the easiest, and even if we would need to be planting in it, I'm sure that at first you just weed a bit, but really it gets out of your way as soon as you have a bit of shading with other plants growing. Like it feels the signal of like something else is growing, I don't need to be here.
We can share it on this one to show how it looks after covering it for a couple months.
So this was also an experiment of doing kind of like lasagna layering and preparing the soil. This soil especially, it's very sandy and loamy, and it's super easy to work even without decompacting, without machines. So I'm not saying that this works for all type of soils. Probably if it would be clay, this would be impossible, like to do this Broadfork work. So it's really not one rule for everybody, but we just like feel what it seems nice to us. So here we put some horse poop, we put leaves from the city, we put some cardboard, and then we put wood chips on top. And you can see like it's just like compost. And here we arrive at the soil, and we will do the same. We will like open in the middle and do some Broadfork, and you see like the couch grass really grows well in it, but it's really not hard to weed out. And then there's also bindweed, same thing, like it's just gonna grow a bit, but it doesn't take long for you to weed this. And really the grassy stuff, it's already decomposed. This like this green thing that you With the Broadfork, it's a bit like pain in the ass. It's really already like, it's the first one to die out. So just experiment. There's no perfect way to soil preparing. Like we always broke our minds and our heads over like how to prepare soil and how to do it without machines, and because you can do this by yourself. And yeah, it takes time, but it's so satisfying. Like it really didn't take us long to put the wood chips. Here we have this line of artichokes. Perfect. We just like put all the weeds that we took out from the other bed under. We put this wood chip here, and now we have like a line that is already prepared to plant, so basically.
Here we have the artichokes. We have a path in between. Here we have the line for the trees that is gonna be 5 meters away from the other line.
Go ahead.
So how can I show? Like, so here we have the line. That's we're doing it like 45 centimeters wide, you know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be planting potentially in 3 sub lines within that line.
Yeah.
And then 5 meters away to the right, you can see that we have another one of those bigly fat mulched ones where we're gonna do just the same. And in between here, it might not be so visible, but this is all prepared as well. This was quite some work.
Yeah, because it was not covered. It was not this part, yes, but a bit over there was
it was just grassy. And we now have it like, let's say, broadforked and weeded for the cultures that we want to plant directly in soil and not in mulch.
Vegetables,
so,
basically.
Vegetables like the favas and like the garlics and stuff. So that's gonna be our interline.
With
and then the
2
next
beds.
tree line is gonna be there 5 meters, and then and so forth and so forth.
And we're doing this by hand, but
yeah, for now we have like 150 meters of beds, more or less.
Line,
yeah, and in between we have those interlines, and those interlines we're not doing all the same. And here's an interline that we're doing just by putting wood chips.
Yeah.
A thick layer of wood chips, and then we're gonna be trying to plant sweet potato or watermelon, because apparently they can work with that.
Yeah.
So we try different things, and actually the surface we're growing seems to be very adapted to what we're able to support over the years, and progressively it expands, and we're gonna be able to support that. So actually for us now, having machines apart from, of course, a car to bring in the wood chips, which is a machine, of course. But apart from that, doing everything by hand so far seems to be the most enjoyable, and it feels the best, you know?
Yeah.
Because having a machine coming in here, you know, they wouldn't care about trees like this. They would just chop them off or go over it with the tractor. I don't know. I mean,
and then the result,
but,
you know, the couch grass would just be resprouting like crazy. And while like here we just take it out and it's not gonna really grow again.
But if you have a machine and it's like you can do it how you want, of course, like we're not saying this is how it should be done, but we just want to share this is how we felt like doing it. And
also we didn't feel like buying plastic sheets to like weed out.
Cover it for a month. You want me to film you or?
No, it's okay. Just how I'm gonna say that. If it's recycled, like we didn't really find around here like people there are not really many people that do cereals, so we didn't find anybody where to take their trash like plastic sheets to reuse them. That is really an option to use it just for the first time to weed out basically for a couple months before planting.
Exactly.
But anyway, like this works and we have this for free, and it's just a bit of moving it. Yeah, it's a bit of work, but come on, it's like work with your body and be healthy and move your body.
Then you have organic matter, like
this was like fresh compost. It's not even 1-year-old compost. It was fresh, and now with
has a lot of leaves and stuff.
Exactly, and has a lot of life. In this one, it was the most life that there is. You want to show us a bit how you use the Broadfork?
Yeah, let's
because this Broadfork is really doesn't seem like it's a bit heavy, but it's perfect to decompact.
I already did the first part.
Decompact and weed out. Yeah. Like he has a special technique. You can see that.
This is a fat piece, though.
It's okay.
But yeah.
With this type of soil, you can see that it's slightly compacted here. Like you can see blocks like this, but because it's sandy, it's super easy.
Once they're broken up, they really get small.
And we
shake it a bit like this.
Yeah. You see, this is the grass that has the most keeps the topsoil because it has so many fine roots. But we just like shake it out and try to get the most out. But really, the couch grass has it's fantastic because it releases all the soil around it. And if it's a bit
just like this,
then we're gonna reuse that on the paths. This is just an idea, you know, like there are so many
ways.
hybrids.
Look, the couch grass is releasing all the soil
And
holding it together, and we've seen where the couch grass is actually picking up on top of the wood chips. There's the most life, the most moisture.
Because it basically like traps the wood chips down, and it keeps it humid. And if it would be an inundation, all the wood chips wouldn't move. And it shades it.
With their root exudates, all the insects and stuff have something to feed on.
Yeah.
Whereas the wood chips that are uncovered and just naked, they just stay lifeless and they don't
sterile. Yeah. They don't break down.
So really, couch grass for our situation, we really start to love it.
Wow. So simple. That's it. Look how beautiful. How without any soil. And how fast. Maybe who haven't tried like doing patches like this of grasses doesn't know the comparison, but this is really like super satisfying.
We love couch grass. I think the majority of people hate it, but it's
we really hated it. We were so scared of it.
Yeah.
But we've seen like how fast it goes out of the system when.
And what skills it's got, you know? It's like what other plant can do this?
Yeah.
Colonize so fast and spread so much, and then let go so quickly.
Yeah, so quickly.
It goes in as fast as it goes out.
Like we did this line, let's say in, I don't know, half an hour?
Yeah.
20 minutes?
And then it's perfectly weeded, like...
There's nothing,
if
there's
we
nothing.
Plant good stuff in this,
it's gonna have so much time to...
Never will there be problems with plants that come in by themselves.
And yeah, for sure, it depends on the soil as well. Like,
for
again,
in
clay
Romania,
soil,
with the clay, we don't do this.
We wouldn't have been possible. So probably their machines would have been needed. So yeah, we were saying that we almost broke up on this because I felt quite abandoned because I wanted not to work physically, not to destroy my body by weeding everything by hand. And so I thought machines would save my life in this. And Jimmy didn't really feel attracted to it, and I felt like he was just like running away from work. But he had his intuition. He just wanted to like cover the ground around August with like wood chips and to try that way. And
it really felt like we were separating, like breaking up, just because I wanted to mulch it with that stuff.
Because I thought at that time we didn't have the idea of the Broadfork. It didn't really exist. We didn't have it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't in my mind know how to uncompact the soil. I didn't want to uncompact the soil with a
spade.
With a spade by hand like we did last time, and super deep. And we've seen that where we was super deep, it didn't really grow much better than where it was.
It was literally a meter deep. We did it. And like the things are growing like the same speed as where we just put like cardboard and then just a layer of mulch, and we even hammered in some figs, and they grew just as good, sometimes more, than the ones that we were decompacted like this. So we're like, we broke our back
for nothing.
For what, you know?
Yeah. And this is again in our situation, like they're not all the same.
Yeah, just observing, like just try some things, try decompacting it, try machines if you want, and and then you see what works best.
Yeah.
Because nature will tell you, you know, you gotta ask, and then it's gonna be like this good, this no, this this.
And nature really is not like selective, like this is completely gonna fail, this is completely gonna work all the time. It has so much, it's so resilient.
So clear in its answers. It never says, it just says yes, no, or like a bit yes, medium yes.
This is so satisfying. Because we would like to start plants soon.
We have raspberries that we're gonna be putting in every meter. We're super excited about them. In Romania, like, thank God to those crazy Romanian people that are still so connected to their own food production. For 20 cents we could get raspberries.
Like rooted
Super strong
shoots.
rooted shoots.
So we got like what, 150 for 30 euros.
In France that would have cost us
Raya, it's okay.
more than 1,000 euros because they're like 5 euros a plant.
Yeah.
And the guy was a sweetheart. He was answering to all our questions.
Just call me, send me some photos when you want to cut them.
How to prune it, I'll show you.
And we smuggled them in the luggage.
In the plane, yeah.
In the plane, our like not backpack, our suitcase was like full of strawberries and raspberries and yeah.
It's so nice to have all the soil like this. So perfect to plant.
Robinha, self-seeded. Wow, you can see the nodules already.
Right.
So much.
It's gonna pick some nitrogen. And then
Here we have
already starting raspberries. It's just so ooh. It's like
What? Give some context.
I'm getting like in my veins like, you know, endorphins or something. This must be scientific, that planting things like this. This is the raspberry, and this is a beautiful like little tree that we started from seed,
Boiling
the seed so that it could sprout. And here it is. Very humble, you know, it's just got this much growth, a few little leaves to capture the sunlight and to go up. It's just like so fulfilling.
It's starting to look like something, this line.
Yeah.
Even though they're so small. It's like it's the beginning. Look at these nodes in the roots. It's already fixing nitrogen, this little plant.